Gerhard Bloom, once again, looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So let's look at the tyranny of pronouns, the absurdity of non-binary, and pregnant men nonsense, that sort of thing. All right, first, the tyranny of pronouns. You don't actually get to decide on your pronouns. The grammar and the rules of grammar decide it for you. You're a man, it's he, him. You're a woman, it's she, her. No z, zir, none of that nonsense. No. An ancient saying, Latin, Caesar non est super grammaticos, means even Caesar, the ruler of the civilized world, was not above the rules of grammar. He didn't get to decide to create his own rules of grammar. He conformed to the rules of grammar. People are now militantly coercing you into accepting this pronoun nonsense. And they are militantly trying to police your speech. Leftists have long known the efficacy of controlling speech. If they can control your speech, they can control your thoughts, and then they can control your discourse. 1984, I'm surprised it hasn't been banned as sedition. Speaks about newspeak and doublespeak, this sort of nonsense. I'm a man. I don't go around telling people my pronouns are he, him. It is an obvious fact. Obvious fact. And if I were to start doing that, I've conceded the game. I concede that this is some meaningful and important gesture, a social sensitive fiction. And it's a gesture towards social justice. No, it's a gesture towards idiocy and confusion. And that man in a skirt, he's a man. Putting on a skirt and lipstick and high heels does not make you a woman. No. And for whatever reason, they want to change their gender. You can't change your gender. You can't change your sex. It's biologically, medically, and scientifically impossible. No. But at any rate, I go on. This trans women are women. This again, policing language. The minute you concede to this nonsense, you're playing the game. You say trans women are women, and then men are showering in women's rooms and being sentenced to women's prisons. There are rapists, sexual assaulters, violent criminal sexual predators being sentenced to women's prisons. And women have been raped by these men who identify as women. Because trans women are women. No, trans women are not women. Nonsense. And women are being victimized as a result of this nonsense. And non-binary. This is one of my all-time favorites of leftist nonsense. You can be a man and pretend to be a woman. That makes you a trans woman. You can be a woman and pretend to be a man. That makes you a trans man. Doesn't make you a man, makes you a trans man, i.e. a woman. But non-binary, this is not even a game you can pretend to play. What does it mean to be non-binary? We are a dimorphic species, which means we come in two models, the male and the female. And biology decides your use of language doesn't change reality, although that's exactly what leftists are trying to perpetrate here with their linguistic crime and their militantly policing speech and your behavior. Now, men can't have babies. If you just had a baby, this is an unambiguous sign that you are a woman. I know this, you know this, but leftists pretend to believe this fiction, this ideological fiction, and they don't believe it for a fucking minute. But they pretend to believe this nonsense because it advances their cause. Well, I don't share their cause. I'm not playing that fiction. Pregnant men, impossible. Absolutely impossible. As I say, I know this, you know this, even they know this. But you know who doesn't know this? Children. They don't know this. So they go to school and they're being fed a steady stream of ideological nonsense. They are learning this stuff, ideologically indoctrinated, instead of learning basic biological facts. Schools are where children are supposed to learn the truth, not socially sensitive fictions disguised as truth. They're supposed to be learning the truth. Anyways, poisonous nonsense. Refuse to play that language game, because once you start playing that game, you are co-opted. And do check out my videos on YouTube. TikTok is no friend of free speech and certainly no friend of mine. And check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. Not important because I wrote it. I wrote it because the issues could not be more important. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye now.